Our entire life, we've been conditioned like Pavlov's dog to associate delayed gratification with reward. When you follow this approach, life can feel empty. And the other funny thing about that is that not even 2 hours after you've attained whatever that thing is, right, that big milestone, you're like, well, shit, I'm back to feeling kind of numb and empty all over again. Took a day off today from the gym, from exercising, from feeling like I had to put on the expectation onto myself to do something. If you're anything like me, you know that feeling of the pressure that you put on yourself every single day. The pressure to get your work done. The pressure you put on yourself to get ahead of things. The pressure you put on yourself to do this and do that, whether that's with your body, your nutrition, your well-being, right? Your spiritual practice, your self-improvement, your career, your school, whatever that thing is. And all of it adds up into this big lump of what you put on yourself to feel like you have to a standard you feel like you have to maintain each and every single day in order to get to the future you're wanting to. Oh, looks like a call. The pressure we put on ourselves, right? We live life trying to chase this imaginary future, and it doesn't really, the object, the goal of attainment could matter less in this sense, right? Whether that's, getting a girlfriend, getting married, having kids, starting a family, right? Making $200,000 a year, or whatever your financial goal is, building 20 pounds of muscle and lowering your body fat down to 12%. Right, whether these goals are with our fitness, our relationships, our health, our wealth, our happiness. The commonality is that we sacrifice the present for the future. And we're brought up all our lives, we're told, right? The experiment with the kid with the candy, right? If you eat the candy now, then you get nothing. But if you wait 30 minutes, I'll give you another candy. So now you have 2 candies. So basically, our entire life we've been conditioned like Pavlov's dog to associate delayed gratification with reward. And I'm not going to sit around here and tell you that that isn't going to make you progress in life, because that is the very thing that gets 95% of people the progress they want in life. The downside of this approach that I have discovered and realized in myself over the years is that when you follow this approach, life can feel empty, because you're not even living. You're just chasing this thing that one day you hope to get to, but every day is just more tasks, more things to do, more pressure on yourself. And at some point, life just feels kind of numb, And then, let's say a few years down the road, you get it. That very thing you've always wanted, you finally get it. And instead of feeling joy, and you will feel joy, but it's almost like you feel relieved, You feel relieved, oh my gosh. As if you're running away from something, and finally the thing stopped chasing you, and you could finally slow down and catch your breath. Right? And the other funny thing about that is that not even 2 hours after you've attained whatever that thing is, right, that big milestone, you're like, well, shit, I'm back to feeling kind of numb and empty all over again. So I'm gonna look to chase the next thing, the next milestone that's gonna give me that purpose, that's gonna give me that drive, that fuel. And so we go on repeating this loop over and over and over again. There's nothing wrong with this, right? What's wrong with it is the fact that we're not actually allowing ourselves to enjoy our life the entire way through. And so it's like we live 98% of life working towards the 2%. But that entire way of thinking is deeply flawed, because who told you you had to live life that way? It's as if we're just like, oh, there's absolutely no way I can enjoy my life while working towards my goals. That's not possible. You know, I have to work hard. I have to, implicitly what we're telling us, I have to hate it. But attaining the thing will justify all the hard work, all the sweat, all the torture we voluntarily put on ourselves to justify it. Now, the approach I'm about to open up is precisely the opposite. Not the opposite in the sense of you don't work hard. Not the opposite in the sense of you don't have a vision. But it's like, it's the fact that you have the vision. You have the thing, the life you're working towards, right? The relationship, the family, the finances, the health, the body, the fitness, yada, yada, yada. But your relationship with life is not this tug and pull, this tug of war, right? Where you're struggling and struggling and struggling until you, But the relationship changes between you and life, because it's not about you being separate from the goals you desire. It's about, what am I doing, or rather, who am I being, how am I living each and every single day? And is that actually in alignment or in misalignment with the life that I want to create? So I'll give you an example. A person who lives under the old model, right? This is the old me. Right now I'm driving to the waterside to just hang out with you guys, to just shoot the shits. The old me would have been something like, what the fuck are you doing, man? You got to get to work. You know, you still haven't hit the gym today. You still haven't done your cardio. Why the fuck are you thinking you can just go out here and relax when you haven't earned it? You know, you haven't earned it. You need to earn it with punishment and hard work and sweat and feeling like you put on an effort. Then you can relax. And then I would go on to basically never relax because nothing I did was ever enough because I still hadn't attained the arbitrary goal that I set for myself. And so I spent Monday to Sunday, right? I didn't regard the weekends as weekends, right? Every day was just another day that I needed to continue going on, doing the thing I needed to do in order to get me to the place where I needed to be. But you see, under the old model, all of that was done out of fear. All of that was done because I hated my life. And maybe I kind of hated myself. All of it was done in an attempt to try to escape my own life. Because my own life was so unbearable, I wanted to work hard so that I could escape it, so that I could attain this future. I hope you're still tracking. Now, in the new model, here I am. It's the middle of the day. You know, I didn't go to the gym today. I didn't do my cardio today, right? To me, these are foundational pillars, right? Every single day, that's just what I do. I didn't take my cold shower today. I didn't do my morning ritual. I spent the morning seasoning a carbon steel pan rather than getting to work. And I could hear the thoughts inside of my head. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you still haven't made it to where you want to be in life, and you're sitting here in the fucking kitchen seasoning a carbon steel pan in the smack middle of Tuesday morning? Right? That's the inner workaholic, the inner child, the one who feels like his life isn't enough. And he was speaking to me. And I could hear him talking to me, right? But it's interesting because you notice that there are many voices inside of your head. And it's almost like there's different personalities inside your head. But the one that you dominantly listen to, the one you dominantly obey, is what becomes your personality manifest in the outer world. And so in the past, I would just think, oh, that critical voice speaking to me is just me. That's my voice, right? And so I would be like, oh, yeah, you're right. I should get to work. Oh, you're right. I was like, I need to get the fuck out of bed. I need to get out of bed. I need to stop this bullshit, this doom scrolling bullshit or whatever the hell I was distracted with, and get to work. And to work on what I need to work on. But as you develop more self-awareness, you realize that voice, it's your relationship to how you relate to that voice. Oh, crow. That determines the behaviors you take and the thoughts you think. Today, I listened to that voice, but I was like, oh yeah, hey, it's you. The part of me that always feels like he has to do more work, always feels like he doesn't deserve to rest, to relax, to take care of himself mentally and spiritually, who is afraid that he won't make it to his goals because he's not working hard enough, he's not pushing hard enough, he's not killing himself in order to get there. And I just witnessed that voice, right? And I tapped into a different part of me that was like, huh, you know what? I'm going to be okay. You know, despite what this voice says about me not working every single day, right? Not following the plan to get to the goals as fast as possible so that we make it. Despite that, hey, I'm going to be okay. The sun's out. The birds are chirping. The sky is blue. The wind calmly blows on the trees and the plants and the flowers, and the crow is chilling, walking around looking for food. You know? Life just goes on. And it's at harmony with itself. It's not trying to fight the present moment like we do. Right? This is the enlightenment, we'll call it that. The enlightenment of human beings is that we were given the capacity for conscious thought. And conscious thought allows us to project our reality into the past and into the future. Whereas animals can only live in the present. They don't have this quote-unquote enlightenment. But this quote-unquote enlightenment is also our disease, our burden, because we get so caught up in our ideas of what was wrong about the past and the pains of the past, trying to run away from it. And our ideas about the future and how if we don't get there fast enough, we won't make it, then our life will be pointless, then we don't know who we are. And so animals don't have that. Nature doesn't have that. It's always just here and now. And really the mindset shift I wanted to share with this whole video is this whole idea that the secret to creating the life you love is to create a life you love in the present moment. It's to be who you want to be now. It's to give yourself permission to feel what you want to feel here. There's no more waiting. There's no more excuses, justifications for why I don't deserve X until I have Y. Right? Practically everything we do is a condition. We live conditionally. We love conditionally. If this condition is not met, I cannot feel Y. And we do that with practically everything. Everything. Trapped inside this mental prison, running the same loop over and over and over again. In the mistaken thought that once I attain this destination, then I can feel this is faith. This is true faith. When you're living exactly in alignment with the emotions and the person you want to be, you suddenly feel this expansive, just limitless feeling like I've already arrived. the thing I was looking for has always been here. It will never be somewhere else. Although my mind can be so convincing, so persuasive, that I'm not where I want to be at. And it's funny because the more you spend your time living in a state where you're already where you want to be, ironically, it's a crazy idea, life reflects it. You start getting the money you want. That relationship you want comes out of nowhere. Right? Your body improves. Your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health, your financial health. They just start coming. And you're just like, but you're like, yeah, this is what I've always known to be my reality. I've been posting on YouTube for 5 years. In the state of my fear mind, I'm like, dude, all this is kind of hopeless. I have the value. I know what I'm providing. But no one's watching. I haven't made any actual, tangible, real, significant progress in growing this channel. I could be thinking that. And at certain points, I was thinking that. But at another level, so what? I know who I am. I know this will all work out. Because God doesn't put you on this earth for nothing. He puts you on this earth so you can create your own destiny. And I chose this destiny. What better thing to do than to work on a challenge of your own choosing? Because the majority of people work on challenges they don't choose. And so life feels like an obstacle rather than a challenge to growth. But I digress. Now, what's better than working on a challenge of your own choosing? Because you're living out God's will in the creation of your own destiny. God gave you all of these struggles, all of these feelings like I'm fucking working so damn hard and it's getting me fucking nowhere. All of these frustrations, all of these just the shit that life throws at you. God gave you these struggles so you could learn how to become unstoppable. Because at a certain point, nothing can stop you anymore. Because you know who you are. You know what it is you're meant here to create. And you will do everything in alignment with that person you are in order to be the person that you just are. In that sense, the process becomes the goal, and the goal becomes the process. There is no division between the process, the journey, and the destination, the arrival. Every moment of your life, you're living it. And suddenly you feel at peace. Stillness in motion. God put you on this earth to choose your own destiny. Don't quit on Him. You're so close to everything you want. You just have to see it. That's the end of my rant. All I can say is tranquility, peace, groundedness, fulfillment, purpose, authenticity, alignment. You can experience all of these things. Doesn't have to be this dreadful grind, putting your nose against the grindstone day after day. I hope we've left off here on a bit of a high. I hope you can feel it too. Now, we just carry this high through and remind ourselves when we forget. I love you all. Genuinely thank you for tuning in. If you're looking for one-to-one mentorship on how it is to actually create a life, right, a mindset where you're at peace, where it doesn't feel like you're constantly fighting against life, but you're actually in harmony with it. To create a body, a fitness regimen that doesn't feel like a regimen, but it just feels like it's a natural expression of who you are. Because realizing your physical potential, building your best body, becoming the most fit version of yourself, I think it's just another manifestation of creating your best life. If you're looking for help with that, you can apply to my one-to-one mentorship. I'll be taking 2 more people this month. I appreciate you being here again. See you in the next one.